Hey, man, for some reason, ever since we talked about Terrence Howard, I'm not bringing this up to do a Terrence Howard impression. I'm not. Probably won't even do it.
But he's everywhere in the news now.
But no, I've got a lot of questions from people saying, hey, did you know this about Terrence Howard? And did you hear this? And there was one thing that I do remember about him that he mentioned in an interview. He was on Fresh Air.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was this big of a story, but I'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
But this dude, Adam and Eve. Hope you're not wearing makeup when you wrote this. But he gave me a whole chronological thing about Terrence Howard's crazy history. I'll try to get through it quick. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. He says, it's a little update on Terrence Howard. He found a site, Gawker, where it says 6 times Howard has been accused of beating, and I can't see the rest of the title. I guess it's going to say beating his wife.
Right. It
says, what do you think of Terrence Howard? Is he the next Mel Gibson, Roman Polanski, Chris Brown? Says, if you can't open the link, I'll give you what it says below. He went ahead and copied all this stuff here.
Well, now, I think it was Carlisle who was saying that was one of the reasons they fired him off Iron Man.
Yeah, well, I heard that I didn't know what it was, because you were hearing different things.
Exactly.
You were hearing money.
Right.
He was asking for more. And then every now and then you hear crazy.
Yeah.
But like, okay, whatever. People say it all the time,
Yeah,
but
right.
they would always come back. Yeah, he wanted a guarantee that he'd be in the next few. He wanted a contract. That one guy still back in the room. Crazy. You're like, shut up, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a nebulous term.
Yeah, but then I get this whole timeline here, man. Starting in 2000. Says here's the allegation. Howard was arrested in Cleveland after assaulting a flight attendant on Continental Airlines when she told him to return to his seat while the seatbelt sign was on. Howard's defense, Howard says he was just trying to take his daughter to the bathroom, so the charges were dropped.
I would also point out that assault can be cussing somebody out.
Yeah. Bitch, you sit down. No,
yeah, exactly.
Sorry for the coughing, people. I told you it's going to happen. The lungs are clearing out. Probably should have smoked that weed while I was out there. Yeah, let's see.
And then you're going back out there today.
Going back out there today. 2001. Less than a year after the Continental incident, Howard was arrested in White Marsh, Pennsylvania for assaulting his estranged wife, Lori McComas, after he got through with her. No, it says it was an argument over the phone that led to Howard driving over to McComas, to put her in one, to go over to McComas' home, kicking down her front door and punching her 3 times in the face.
Damn.
Howard's defense. Can you have any defense after that? According to the Smoking Gun, Howard admitted, I broke the door down and hit my wife. And it says, after being charged with a variety of crimes, simple assault, terroristic threats, harassment, and stalking, Howard subsequently pleaded guilty in 2002 to disorderly conduct. God, he didn't get arrested for fucking battery?
If you get a good enough lawyer, they can argue some shit down.
Movie star.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's in that timeline, but he divorced that wife and then they got remarried again.
Well, let me see. 2005. Though the story is only coming to light now, Philadelphia Magazine reports that back in March of 2005, Howard was involved in another violent incident with 2 complete strangers. Danielle DeStefano and her then fiance, Kevin Stoffel, were in line at Ray's Dining Car in Philadelphia when Howard became violent after the couple were seated ahead of him. I gotta do it, man.
Go ahead.
No, I ain't gonna do it.
No,
I ain't gonna do it.
Come on, man. How you gonna not do it?
No, I'm gonna do it. After allegedly punching Stoffel, a U.S. Marine, to the ground, Howard is said to have punched DeStefano in the chest and continued to beat Stoffel, and to continue to beat Stoffel before fleeing the scene. Jesus Christ. He was arrested and charged with simple assault. And how's that simple? Ain't nothing simple about that shit, mother. If I was in line, he beat the fuck out of me. Well, I guess we really look at it. Well, you simply got an ass beating, didn't you? But those charges were later withdrawn, and Howard only received charges for disorderly conduct.
Wow.
Want to hear his defense? At the time, Howard admitted to the arresting officer that he'd hit both Stoffel and DeStefano, but claimed it was in self-defense. When contacted more recently by Philadelphia Magazine, Howard's lawyer said that his client has been unjustly accused of acts that never happened, Leon. All right. Well, I wasn't there. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. We're almost done here. 2010 to 2011.
Yeah,
he did so much shit, and they put it in 2 years.
I'm gonna say maybe those people were like, well, back in the day, you wouldn't even been allowed to sit in this restaurant, so you need to calm your ass down.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he was like, oh no, you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking shit to him. Maybe they were behind him and whispered, "Nigga, you need to get out the way."
What you say to me, man?
2010 and 2011. Apparently, he beat somebody on New Year's Eve, went all the way to New Year's Day. Let's see. The allegation. Excuse me. Howard married his second wife, Michelle Gent, on January 20th, 2010. It took less than a week for him to beat her ass. No, I said it took less than a week for the alleged violence to begin. Gent filed for divorce in January 2011, and the divorce papers detail a gruesome year. Oh, shit. You want to hear this? A slug in the face a week into the marriage, a beating and near loss of a balcony in South Africa in July, and threats with a butcher knife in the week prior to her filing for divorce. The abuse apparently continued as Howard and Gent tried to reconcile. That's what you're talking about, I guess.
No, it was Lori McComas that he remarried.
Well, let's see what they say here. Howard alleges that it was Gent who was violent towards him. The judge granted Gent a restraining order against Howard in December of 2011. Maybe this guy's getting a bad rap. Maybe trouble just follows him wherever he goes.
I don't know, man.
2012. The allegation on May 6, 2012, Howard's on-again, off-again girlfriend mistress, Mei Sing Yang, alleged that during an argument at Howard's Pennsylvania home, Howard attacked her while his girlfriend, Erica Giles, looked on. Wow. Yang told White Marsh police that Howard has choked her, thrown her to the ground, and punched her in the eye. Then told his girlfriend,
Fuck this. I'm going to jail tonight.
the motherfucker I guess he just said, I'm
Like, hey, yeah, this is what happens. I know how this goes.
In a handwritten statement to the police, Yang wrote that during her argument, she told Howard that he had given her herpes and says he acknowledged doing so shit.
Damn.
Yeah, bitch, you got herpes now.
Howard filed assault charges against Yang for punching him during the melee, and both parties dropped criminal charges and settled in a private civil suit. Seems like all these things start with them punching him or doing something to him, and he just defends himself.
Man, it's too much here to try to defend him. I ain't saying he's guilty, but I'm also saying, like, I ain't stepping in to defend him.
I'm just saying the law has spoken.
That's a lot.
That is funny how he just seems to just get in trouble.
Yeah.
Every fucking year.
Yeah.
And always they hit me first.
Right.
2013. And this is the last one, of course. Unless we can see in the future.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's jump on Google right now and see what he's doing.
Let's just put down 2014. Howard beat somebody's ass. There you go. Don't need no crystal ball for that. 2013, Howard and Gent recently took another shot at a reconciliation, taking a trip to Costa Rica together August of 2013. Gent alleges that Howard punched her in the face. God damn, this motherfucker loves to punch.
I know. I mean, you know what? It's funny. Even his character, a pimp in Hustle and Flow, was not this violent with women.
No, not at all. That's because he slapped the hoe before he got on the set. He got out of his system. He was actually supposed to choke some bitches in the movie, but he didn't. It says here, after she told him that she didn't think a reconciliation was going to work out, forcing her to pepper spray him in self-defense.
He was mad. He like, you let me pay for this trip, and then you tell me you're not going to get back together with me?
Bitch, we in Costa Rica. You could have told me this back in America, God damn it. You gonna get me some pussy today.
The photos are damning. A judge has granted Gent a temporary restraining order. Howard's defense at the premiere of Lee Daniels' The Butler, so that's not too long ago. Howard told Entertainment Tonight's Nancy O'Dell that he wanted to set the record straight. And that's what he says. We're divorced now, and she should stay that way. I mean, yeah, okay. And I just wish the best for her. But as far as me harming somebody, anybody that knows me, I really can't harm a fly. You know, it's completely against my spirit. Yeah. It says here 2014, Howard punched a fly in the face. No, it says, weird, given that in 2001, he himself admitted to breaking down McComa's door and hitting her, a fact he seems to have conveniently memory hold in the years since. To be fair, his ex-wife is likely not a fly, so he can defend his quote on the technicality. He has also shared this completely nonsensical analogy about jungle snakes in a further effort to absolve his tarnished name. Now, I guess this is what he's saying. Well, it's heartbreaking because there's a story about someone that picked up a viper that was frozen, and they put it close to their chest so that it could warm up. And the moment that it became warm, it bit them. And it said, "Why did you bite me?" Well, didn't you know I was a viper?
Yeah, okay.
Terrence Howard was a viper.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. If you're going to bring him close to your heart, you got to prepare to get bit. I'll punch in the face.
It's weird because, interesting, because when the Chris Brown shit first went down, I remember watching some show where the reporter talked to Terrence Howard, like, what are your feelings on this? And the whole time I was like, why they pick Terrence Howard? Just like, I guess they was looking for a random black celebrity to talk to. But maybe this was the reason.
Yeah, maybe somebody knew something.
Because he was all like, hey, man, that's between these two people, and I'm hoping they work things out with each other.
Exactly.
Because I bet he was like, I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah.
Bitch probably was talking too much. He had to handle his business. Probably didn't want to give him no pussy. That's what was wrong. Shit, Chris Brown's a viper. Like me.
Now, here's the thing about Terrence Howard, and I'm surprised I didn't bring this up. And you might have heard it too. Because when he was, and I haven't read it yet, I got to go and read this. He did send me a link to something here. But he said that in this interview, he was talking about how when he was a kid, he was in line to see Santa Claus. And his father got into an altercation with a guy either behind him or in front of him. And he said that, I thought it was over something racial or something. That's what I thought I heard. But apparently the guy was just being a kind of a jerk to his dad. And his dad was trying to protect his kids. And he said, hey, just leave me alone. I don't want to hurt you or anything. And apparently this guy got into a fight. Like, this guy started punching his dad. And his dad pulled out a knife and stabbed the guy and killed him. And this is when Terrence Howard was a kid. Let me see if I can get the story here. And I'm thinking, if that happened, his ass is probably crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't saying
it's justified, not at all, but it would explain things.
And and I remember hearing this story. Now, I got a call yesterday. I did a call-in show. And Santos.
Yeah.
Santos told me, have you heard of and I'm looking at it here, the Santa line slang? And I was like, wait a minute. Is that when Terrence Howard's father, killed a guy? And they were like, he's like, yeah, I didn't know it was that famous. And you should listen to the interview. Terrence Howard tells him, he mentions it himself. And let me see here. I got it on Wikipedia. The Santa line slang was a nationally publicized incident that occurred on December 21st, 1971 in Cleveland, Ohio. The incident resulted in the death of one man. In 2005, the incident attracted some attention again when actor Terrence Howard revealed that his father was convicted in the man's death. Let's see here, the incident. There are different accounts of this event, it says here, which led to the death of Jack Fitzpatrick. But what is beyond dispute is this. 21-year-old Tyrone Howard. Well, see, Tyrone, of course he killed somebody. Man. No, I can't. And his pregnant wife took their 3 sons, one of whom was 2-year-old Terrence.
God damn, he's 21. He had 3 kids already?
Yeah, man.
Jesus.
His dick was a viper, man. Let's see, to see Santa Claus at a Hy-Bee's. What the hell is a Hy-Bee's department store in Cleveland, Ohio? Also waiting in the long line was 36-year-old Jack Fitzpatrick, who was with 3 of his own children while his pregnant wife shopped with their oldest daughter. At one point, the Howards were accused of cutting in the line.
I knew that's what it was going to be.
Some stupid shit, yeah, by some of the others waiting, including Fitzpatrick. An argument began between the 2 men. What was said in the argument and who initiated the altercation differs among witnesses, but the result was Fitzpatrick grabbed Howard, pinned him against a wall, and kneed him in the groin while strangling him. Howard's groin began bleeding from a previous injury he received on his job. Howard then used a sharp object to stab Fitzpatrick several times in the thighs and neck until Fitzpatrick fell to the floor. Howard fled to his mother's home. Hours later, he turned himself into police. Fitzpatrick was taken to a nearby hospital and died from his wounds. And you can go on and read this because it's a long thing. I don't know what happened to his father. If I remember,
that sounds like straight up self-defense there.
Well, if I remember the interview, maybe that's where the racial part came in, because he said that his father, he said it was self-defense. This guy was beating him and he was trying to get the guy off of him.
Yeah.
And the police came there and they didn't give a fuck. They just saw a black guy who had, and people, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about what I remember. I'm not trying to bring anything racial, because I know people are saying Korey just trying to find racial shit and anything. I'm telling you what I recall. And this is Terrence Howard's words, not mine. For all I know, this, I don't know what happened, but I think his father ended up going to jail.
Yeah.
But I haven't read the rest of it on Wikipedia, so I don't know. But yeah, I'd say that's enough to make a Negro go crazy. This shit. Terrence Howard was probably, I don't know. And I don't think his father was around when he was growing up because he was in jail. So yeah, motherfucker's probably crazy.
Sad.
Yeah, shit. Maybe his father's soul inhabited Terrence Howard every now and then.
Well, probably every message he got to him, he could. Don't take no shit off nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
But it got you in jail. That's all right, though.
Hey, did you see Santa Claus, though? No, I didn't.
Well, you could have. I went to jail before you see Santa Claus. I don't know why you didn't go.
In fact, I ain't seen Santa since your ass went to jail. You don't come to the house or nothing. God damn you. I saw the police that day. Yeah, it's sad, man. It really is sad. So I don't know. I didn't know it was such a nationally known incident.
Yeah, man. I get mad when people cut in line, but there's only so much I'm going to do about it. Or even say.
The shit is stupid, too, man, because I've seen this happen before. It happened to me when I was in high school in Waco. Some country motherfuckers. You remember Adrian? Of course you remember Adrian.
Of course.
We were going to see Back to the Future 2, man. And Adrian was waiting on me. I got in line with him. And this guy grabbed me, grabbed my shoulder. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? He's like, hey, no one's going to cut in front of us, man. I was like, this guy was waiting. Well, I don't care, man. We've been in line for 3 hours. We're going to see this movie. I was like, you'll see the movie. You're going to see the movie. Just get your fucking hands off me. Don't ever fucking touch me again like that. Police actually had to come over.
Wow.
So they were like, what's going on here? And I said, this guy's putting his fucking hands on me. I didn't say it like that. I said, no, this guy's grabbing me. I don't know him. Well, he cut in line of, police. They were like, really? That's what they said. You just
both of y'all need to
settle down. And they were kind of hinted at, do you really want to see the movie? Then you need to stop touching people. Yeah. 'Cause you're about to be taken out of line. Tell they were some inbred motherfuckers.
Oh, Jesus.
Seriously, man. Another movie that I'm sure that is in your top 5, but is doing well, or at least has met its budget, is Prisoners.
Oh, yeah.
$5.7 million is what it brought in this weekend. And so far it's made $47.9 million. It cost $48 million to make. I'm sorry, it cost $46 million to make.
Okay.
You know what else is significant about this movie?
Yeah, it stars Terrence Howard.
And he did not slap one person in the film.
That we saw.
In fact, he stopped Hugh Jackman from slapping somebody.
He is like the somewhat of the voice of reason.
Yeah, he was.
Man, I done been to jail 5 times slapping motherfuckers. You don't want to do this, man.
I like the way he was in the movie.
Are you out of your mind?
You remember when he asked Hugh Jackman that? Yeah. Because that's what we were all thinking. We were like, God damn, Hugh Jackman went off in this movie, man.
Yeah, I so had myself in Terrence Howard's shoes, looking like, the fuck did you do? And involve me in by bringing me over here to see this.
It'd be funny if he did get Terrence Howard. Just he looked at Hugh Jackman.
Nigga, you out of your mind involving me in this shit?
Cut.
Yeah, that's not the line. Yeah, what was his name?
His character's name?
No, what was who they have tied up? It was
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano. Yeah, that's right. Paul Dano. Man, that movie was horrifying to me in certain parts.
Oh yeah,
that shit was some real saw shit going on right there. Hugh Jackman he is the scariest fucking thing I've seen in movies this year.
Well, but I like how he was doing his scary shit, but still like, hey, I'm just a father who's concerned.
He scared the fuck out of me. Nothing scares me more than human cruelty against another human, because I'm thinking, yeah, that shit could happen.
Well, yeah, he was like, I got to get my answers.
Yeah, it's like, God damn, just tell him what he wants.
Yeah, just tell me. I don't want to do this.
Out of all the jump scares I've seen.
At the same time, I'm pushing this red button.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to answer me. Terrence Howard talking to Paul Down.
Just give him some pussy, man.
He's a guy, man. Ow.